choke point that's choking the world. Iran puts the squeeze on Hormuz. Makes transit fee demand from Trump. NewsX tracks the Hormuz Strait crisis. As hundreds of ships remain stranded in Middle East.
The Strait of Hormuz is not just a narrow stretch of water. It is the world's most critical energy artery. Nearly 20% of global oil and a major share of the LNG flows through this single passage. But today, passing through Hormuz is no longer routine shipping. It is a high-risk, tightly controlled, militarized transit. So what exactly does a ship have to go through? Hello and welcome to NewsX Explained with me, Megha Sharma. Where today, that is exactly what we break down for you. At its narrowest, the Strait of Hormuz is less than 39 kilometers wide, and within that, only two shipping lanes exist, one inbound and one outbound. Each of these lanes is just a little more than 3 kilometers wide, separated by a buffer zone. This means that every tanker, every cargo ship, and every LNG carrier is forced into a tight, predictable corridor. And it is here the geography becomes strategy. A vessel entering the strait doesn't just pass through open water, it navigates a chain of strategically placed islands, most of them controlled by Iran. Key islands include the Hormuz Island, Qasem Island, and the Larak Island, which sit right along or near the shipping lanes. Beyond these, Iran also controls or militarily occupies Abu Musa, Greater Tun, and Little Lesotho. This means that in total, 7 out of 8 key islands are under Iranian influence. So why does this matter? These islands act as forward military bases which are ideal for radar systems, missile batteries, fast attack boats, and even drone launch points. So a ship isn't just passing through water, it is sailing through a layered surveillance and strike zone. The actual choke point isn't just geography, it is where shipping lanes hug Iran's coast. At the narrowest stretch, the deepest navigable channel lies closer to Iran's side. This gives Iran physical proximity to every vessel as well as the ability to monitor, intercept, or threaten ships instantly. Add to that the missile range from Iran's coast, which effectively covers the entire strait, the naval mines that can be deployed in narrow lanes, and fast boats that can swarm ships within minutes. This is why analysts say Iran doesn't need to close Hormuz, it just needs to make it unsafe. Recent developments show that ships now face a controlled passage system. Iran has told the United Nations Maritime Organization that non-hostile ships may pass safely through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs defined non-hostile vessels as those which neither participate nor support acts of aggression against Iran or belong to the United States or Israel. This comes after fearing Iranian attacks, tanker operators avoided and later altogether stopped sending their ships into the strait through which 1/5 of the world's oil and gas travels in normal times. Now, a limited number of countries have managed to get their tankers through the strait. Sanctioned tankers and shadow fleet vessels, usually uninsured, now make up the overwhelming majority of shipping through Hormuz. Most of the oil since February 28 has headed for Asia, especially China, the world's top crude importer and among the few countries that have condemned the strikes on Iran. Over 12 million barrels of crude have reached China, an ally of Iran, since the war began. In fact, according to some reports, some tankers even declared themselves as China-linked to secure safe passage. And so, the gate is not open for all. Drones, missiles, and underwater mines present a serious challenge. Geography is on Iran's side. Presently, Iranian authorities are reportedly handling requests from countries on a case-by-case basis. There is also a Tehran toll booth in place, with certain reports saying that Iran was charging as much as $2 million to safely transit the strait, that too in yuan, so as to challenge the petrodollar, similar to how Egypt controls the Suez Canal. However, Iran has denied these reports. What is in fact in place is a controlled corridor run by the powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which seems to have a system of its own. If a tanker wants to cross the strait, the operator has to first reach out to middlemen linked to the IRGC and submit documents like ship ID, ownership, cargo details, destination and crew list for vetting. These details are carefully reviewed by IRGC authorities. Cargo with oil is given priority. The vessel then undergoes a layered security in Hormuzgan province. If cleared, the ship gets a code and instructions on which route to take. As the ship nears the strait, the communication shifts to VHF radio. The verification tracking system is checked. After this is done, patrol boats escort the ship through the narrowest stretch. Let's take a look at the two Indian ships that recently crossed the strait and the unusual route they took to do so. The two Indian LPG tankers, Jag Vasant and Pine Gas, instead of taking the shorter and the straighter conventional path into the Arabian Sea, crossed the Strait of Hormuz via the Qashem-Larak channel. As they began their journey home, both vessels sailing close to one another changed their onboard messaging, shifting from generic identifiers such as IND ship and crew and All India crew to more pointed signals such as Pine Gas Indian ship and Jag Vasant IND ship and crew while transiting via the Larak channel. This indicates that these tankers possibly received prior approval from Iranian authorities to cross and were explicitly broadcasting their identities to reduce the risk of being targeted while passing through the channel. The rather unusual routes through Iran's territorial waters taken by vessels that recently transited the Strait of Hormuz are a major signal of Tehran regulating the flow of maritime traffic through the strait. Another Chinese-owned fuel tanker sailed through the Strait of Hormuz from the Persian Gulf, following a route that's been used by other vessels with the approval of Iran. The Bright Gold left the Gulf on the morning of 23rd March via the channel between the Iranian islands of Qashem and Larak. This type of unusual routing through Iran's territorial waters suggests that the vessels had received Tehran's nod to exit the Persian Gulf, pointing to a system of monitoring vessel passage via checkpoints and regulating movement through the strait. So today, a ship passing through the Strait of Hormuz isn't just navigating a waterway, it's navigating a geopolitical checkpoint controlled by Iran. From narrow 2-mile lanes, island-based surveillance and military choke points to an emerging toll-based passage system. Around 800 tankers are still idling on either side of the strait, according to the S&P Global Market Intelligence. Meanwhile, according to the marine traffic, a small number of ships have gone through the waterway in recent days, suggesting Iran, as stated, is allowing the passage of certain ships. The drastic reduction in oil and gas shipments out of the Gulf is causing serious economic disruption around the world, especially Asia. While many established shipping companies may not risk going through the strait without a peace deal, Asian countries dependent on Middle East oil and gas may send tankers through if they trust Iran's assurances. In its letter to the United Nations, Iran said that ships going through the strait would have to fully comply with the declared safety and security regulations, but it did not detail any rules. While the strait isn't formally closed, the risk of passage through the route has risen massively. The risk, which has in turn become a pain point for insurance markets. As tensions escalated, so did war risk premiums, which are now seeing rates between 3 to 7.5%. If we see it in perspective, large oil tankers valued at $200 to $300 million are seeing a rise in premiums from 0.25% to 3%. It has led to insurance costs jumping from $600,000 to $7 and $9 million per voyage, severely affecting profitability. Thus, when risk can no longer be priced, ships disappear. The Strait of Hormuz technically remains open, but shipments have turned to a trickle. Hormuz has effectively become not just a strait, but a controlled gateway to the global energy system. And that is why every movement through it has global consequences.
Choke point that's choking the world. Iran puts the squeeze on Hormuz. Makes transit fee demand from Trump. NewsX tracks the Hormuz Strait crisis. As hundreds of ships remain stranded in Middle East